Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media, and I'm back today with another 4K review, this time of an 80s cult classic thanks to MVD Video. We have Ghoulies from the MVD Rewind Collection hitting 4K. So this is actually the very first time I ever saw this movie. So the question is, does it hold up? Is it worth watching today for the first time? And is this transfer, does it look any good? We're going to talk about that and more as we dive into my 4K review of Ghoulies. So let's start off with just a quick unboxing so you guys know exactly what you're getting with the packaging here. I love the fact that this comes with the slip cover. I think the iconic poster, using that as the cover art, just makes so much sense. I love this. And I actually found out through watching the special features that the shot in the movie of our infamous ghoulie in the toilet, it wasn't even in the original cut of the film, but they did the marketing stills and this one was in there and they were deciding to use it for the poster. So they decided to go back and add in this shot. It's super minute in the film, but at least it's in there now. But anyway, you can take a look at the back there as well, and the spine. So a very nice slipcover. This is the exact same on the front and back, but inside, you know what? I didn't even look. Is there any reversible cover art? There is not. No reversible cover art, but you do have your 4K disc. I love the artwork on this. It is so throwback. It just looks awesome. Hence the Rewind Collection. That's what they're doing, but that looks great. And then you have the Blu-ray disc over there, which is all spun around. But yeah, that's the Blu-ray disc on this side here. But what's really cool is that you get this poster with it, which is just awesome. Not the biggest thing in the world, but it is, it's something. So that's cool. I would imagine they do these with all of their releases. I have the Swamp Thing 4K release, but I've yet to open it. So I need to check that one out, which I definitely want to do now. But yeah, in the meantime, that's what comes with Ghoulies. So a pretty darn good presentation from MVD Rewind. All right, so let's get into the film itself because this was a trip. So Ghoulies was released in 1984, directed by Luca Bercovici, and I always thought that this was a Gremlins knockoff. Well, it turns out this came out just a few months after Gremlins did, but Charles Band, of course, produced this, Empire Pictures. He ended up finding out that that Gremlins was releasing, and so they went ahead with the Ghoulies idea that they had. And so it's not actually a knockoff. It sort of kind of is, but not in the way that I thought it was. So I thought that was pretty interesting to find out. But anyway, we are following kind of a really strange story here, and frankly, the Ghoulies aren't even the main part of this story. We follow our main character. At the beginning of the movie, we have him as a baby, and his father is trying to sacrifice him. It is absolutely insane, but then we jump ahead in time. He is grown up now, he's in college, and he ends up coming back to his original home, and from there, he basically starts stumbling onto his past. He realizes that he knows things that he shouldn't in terms of the occult and witchcraft and things like that. And so eventually we start following him as he's trying to kind of get back to his roots in a way. And his father, who has passed away, might have a part in this as well. It is such a really strange story. As I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, how in the heck am I going to synopsize what this movie is about? Because it is insane. I will mention the Ghoulies come in because our main character ends up, getting these powers or whatever, and he tries to bring these Ghoulies back, and they are the creatures that essentially do his bidding. And so that's where the Ghoulies come into play. Really, they're not even the main focus of this, which was really surprising to me. This was a rare horror movie that my wife actually ended up watching along with me. She didn't realize what she was getting into. She thought I said Goonies, and so she was like, okay, I'll watch that. But then we start Ghoulies, and it is just completely different from what she was expecting. But I was looking over at her at one point. She was just enthralled with what the heck was going to happen next because it's so utterly absurd. I didn't realize Ghoulies was more of a comedy than a horror film, because again, had really no experience with this series whatsoever. Now I knew, of course, there are 3 sequels, so we get up to Ghoulies 4, but yeah, I had no idea what I was really getting into. I expected something more horror based and something a little harder R than what we really get here, because what Ghoulies is kind of aiming at the prepubescent boy. Really, that's what I look at it as, is that preteen age. I get boy boy or girl, doesn't matter, but just looking for like that audience that really likes gross things and wants to be scared a little bit, wants to be titillated a little bit, but not too much. And that's really what Ghoulies does. It really toes that line quite well of kind of being something that the family can watch. It is, as long as you're down with that. But yeah, so I didn't expect that at all. And I was pleasantly surprised by it because it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I was just able to laugh throughout most of this movie, which made it really fun to watch. And frankly, my wife was laughing too. And I didn't expect that. I thought she was going to, peace out like 5 minutes in, but she watched the entire thing with me and was having just as good a time as I was. And I think that's why this movie works, is when you're in more of a group setting or watching with somebody else and just willing to have a good time. That's exactly what Ghoulies is for. I genuinely loved the creature designs in this film. Like, my favorite Ghoulie, of course, is this one right here on the cover. I thought he was just awesome, but some of them are genuinely creepy. Like, I could definitely see a 9 or 10-year-old watching this and having nightmares afterwards, which of course happened, as they talk about in the special features. But I could definitely see why this would be nostalgic for someone who watched this for maybe the first time back in the 80s, catching it on TV, or, the parents rented it from Blockbuster or wherever their local video rental store was, watching it for the first time and just being scared, genuinely scared by it. I could totally see that, and I can see why people are nostalgic for the Ghoulies. Like, it is just a fun movie that you have to be willing to turn off your brain, and if you are, you can really go with it. I also loved the acting in this. Like, it is so over the top, but what's really cool is that Mariska Hargitay, I believe is how you say her name, the lead actress from Law & Order SVU, is actually one of the supporting characters in this. She has a big role. I've never seen her really in anything outside of Law & Order SVU, especially at this young of an age. So that was so cool. When she first popped up on the screen, I was like, wait a minute, is that her? And I had to look it up, and sure enough, it was. And then as the film goes on, you can definitely see, her, but back from the 80s. Like, it was so fun to watch. So I loved seeing her in this. I thought that was really cool. And then our main character, who plays like the father figure in this, he is absolutely ridiculous, but he just goes for it. And because he goes for it so hard, it works. And so I was laughing at that a ton too. I thought it was just a good time. Like, not really scary at all, at least for an adult watching it, not really scary at all, but just enjoyable. Like, what they're able to do here was fun. Now, admittedly, I was looking for something that was like a little harder R rating, maybe some, more nudity, some more blood, some more gore, but that's not at all what Ghoulies is. So that's just my expectations being wrong going in. So I can't really fault the movie for that, but I would have loved to see something like that. And I'm sure there are some Gremlin knockoffs out there that really do kind of crank up that hard R aspect of things. This is kind of going in the opposite direction. I would argue that Gremlins is a bit scarier than Ghoulies is even. But yeah, there's just some really cool moments in this that make for the film to be just a lot of fun to watch. So if you've never seen Ghoulies before, I recommend it. It's not a great film by any stretch of the imagination. It is definitely one of those so bad it's good movies. But if you're into that like I am, then I definitely recommend checking this one out. So yeah, I guess I'll leave the review of the movie there because it's just fun. I mean, that's really the best way I can describe this one. If you've seen it before, you already know what you're getting into, and it's great to watch again. But if you're seeing it for the first time, know what it is, kind of a horror comedy, and it still holds up in my opinion. If you do like things that are so bad they're good, you definitely got to check out Ghoulies. So I am going to give Ghoulies from 1984 3 out of 5 stars. So let's talk about the AV quality on this disc. So I'll start with the video side, and let me tell you, this looks awesome. So this is a brand new 2023 remaster from the original camera negative, and it's presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. There's both an HDR10 color grading and a Dolby Vision color grading, which is how I watched it, is with that Dolby Vision. And this transfer looks excellent. Like, I was really surprised because, again, I've never seen it before, so I can't compare it to anything else. But this is not what you normally see when you're watching like old, low budget 80s horror movies at all. And so I imagine this is going to be the best this movie will ever look. The Dolby Vision color grading on this did a really nice job of helping those vibrant colors be even more so. And what it does, it doesn't feel like I'm watching a brand new movie at all. Instead, it lets you live in that aesthetic that is the 1980s low-budget horror film as like freely and easily as you can, and I love that aesthetic. So there is a very natural amount of film grain on this, nothing that got overwhelming, didn't have any DNR glossiness on it that I was able to pick up on, and again, all my 4K reviews are very much the layman's 4K review, so I'm not a technical expert on the 4K format at all, but to my eyes, this thing looked awesome. I was super impressed with this transfer, and that's why now I really want to check out Swamp Thing to see how that compares to the previous Blu-ray release that Scream Factory put out. But yeah, I thought the visual side of this disc was excellent. No complaints at all. Loved it. So if you're watching this one, or if you're considering grabbing this one and you're a fan of the movie, you can't go wrong with this. And on the audio side of things, while there's nothing to really write home about, it is a 2.0 mono DTS track. Totally fine for what it is. I had no problem hearing the dialogue mixed with the special effects or anything like that. It didn't blow me away at all, but it was totally fine. So no like difficulty understanding what was happening, which sometimes that's really all you need. So you're not going to get a 5.1 track. You're not getting a Dolby Atmos track here, but you're really upgrading this one for the visual quality. So the audio, totally acceptable in my book. Moving over to the special features on this disc, I will say I'm sure these are ported over for the most part, but as someone who doesn't have this release in any other format, I was very happy to watch these special features. So on the 4K disc itself, there are only 2 special features, and both of them are audio commentary tracks. Both of them are archival, one from 2015 with the director, and another from 2016 with the director and a moderator. I did not watch the audio commentary tracks, I just didn't have time to do that, and you guys know I'm not much of an audio commentary track guy, so I won't comment on those, but they are on there. Those are both also on the Blu-ray disc as well, if you are just watching that version of it. Additionally, with the Blu-ray side of things, there were a handful of special features. Editing an Empire, interview with Ted Nikolai. The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Waste, which is an interview with one of the actors in the film. There is Just for the Chick Man, interview with the director, which I thought was really good. And then From Toilets to Terror, the making of Ghoulies. So each of these are 20 to 30 minutes in length, and frankly, I thought all of them were worthwhile. The one with the actor, I thought was really funny, just a very eccentric guy, which, like, actors, yeah, that's what we do, we're weird. And then with the director, I just loved hearing his kind of take on things. The making of the Ghoulies also has Charles Band in it, which was really interesting to see as well. So you get a pretty hefty amount of special features here that make this disc a really good value, especially because right now I was able to buy this one from Best Buy for only like $24 as opposed to Amazon where it's like $33. So for the price, especially at $23, you're getting a very good value here because the special features, they're plentiful and they're worth watching. They are a little bit meatier than you get on some other releases. So definitely happy to see the special features that were included in this one. So Ghoulies, it won't be for everybody, that's for sure, but if you're already a fan of this film, this is an excellent 4K release by MVD Visual. I cannot fault it. I think it does a great job on the visual side of things and the special features side of things, and the movie is just a blast to watch. So whether you're watching it for the first time like myself, there's a lot to like here, or if you're someone who loves this movie already, this is really a no-brainer in my book. If you don't already have some of the other special features and you really want that visual upgrade, it looks awesome. So I definitely recommend the Ghoulies. I am going to give Ghoulies from MVD Visual 4 out of 5 stars. Alright guys, so those were my thoughts on the MVD Rewind Collection release of Ghoulies on 4K. For my money, this is absolutely worth the price of admission. I'm so happy to have it in my collection now. But I want to watch the sequels to this. That's what I really want to see. I'm guessing it's going to be the law of diminishing returns where each one's probably worse than the other, but I don't care. I absolutely want to check those out eventually. And it's funny, this one, it didn't even make my anticipated releases video. I talked about 15 titles in that video, and Ghoulies wasn't one of them, but I had to grab it. I saw other people picking it up and thought, man, I need to see that movie, and I'm really happy I finally did. But I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Is this MVD Rewind Collection release something that you're planning on picking up? Do you love the Ghoulies? Let me know what you think about that and anything else down in the comments below, and I will try to put an affiliate link in the comments, so that way if you guys are interested, you can pick it up on Amazon, but I will mention, currently, it's cheaper at Best Buy, so definitely go that route. But anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on on this and anything else down in the comments. I really do appreciate any and all support down there. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this one, go and hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.